Hello and good evening. Konbanwa to you, my friend. How
Konbanwa.
are you?
I am great. How are you doing today, chaps?
I'm good. Coach Danny is here with me, and we are going to start a very important initiative for young sailors all over the United States Navy, as well as any other branch that's going through this right now. But standards have become higher. We won't go into the details right now. 3 months ago now, right? You saw it on television, right? Yeah,
Yes.
flag officers about the general obesity and to a certain extent, epidemic. We have an obesity epidemic in America, and Coach Nanny here will, I'm sure, reference that at some point. But we
Mhm.
have that trickles into the military too, and we do need to stay in standards. And I am no saint myself. I have seen my share. I'll share that as we go through this episode. But we are starting this because we want to help sailors. I am so honored to have this podcast shared my partner, Coach Danny Brown. I met Danny, seems like a lifetime ago, before I had kids, and while he was still in the Navy. He was
Yes.
one of our senior enlisted leaders at command I was at. Corpsman, for those of you who need to know what his MOS or his rate was, Corpsman. So he served with Marines. He is FMF.
Yes.
He has been in the sandbox. He served a wonderful, honorable career, and he's done that magical thing that I hope to do someday, and that is retired
I
honorably.
sure
Yes,
have.
and so
Honorable,
now
yes.
Danny is taking his show on the road virtually. He is was a you pretty much your whole career you were a CFL, right?
Yes.
In one way or
Well,
another.
officially a CFL in 2013. So
Mhm.
that's when I went and got my certification.
Yeah, but
Not
you were
gonna
a
lie,
member
I
of the
was
command fitness team for the whole
yes,
time. Yeah, but then you actually
yes,
went to the schoolhouse and became this command CFL in 2013.
yes.
Yeah. And I've worked with a lot of CFLs as a chaplain. One of the things I do as part of our deck plate ministry is I find out when FEP is doing their thing. Those of you in the Navy know what FEP means. There's a program in every branch to help people get up to speed. I won't go into the fine details, but I uh, I met him, and I can tell you, those of you who will be listening to this video, uh, Danny was one of the most compassionate, understanding, and encouraging CFLs I've worked with. I've worked with some that are just hard asses, pardon my expression, but they are hard chargers who just don't understand the average sailor, and that's not right. We got to understand the average
True.
sailor. We got to understand people who struggle with
That
their
is
weight
true.
like me because that's who's going to be on FEP. And those are the people who need that kind of warm encouragement. What are some of the experiences you had as a CFL? Any anecdotal things?
Um, I think the one thing that I always did with everyone is uh and it's kind of what I do now, and it's what I've
Mhm.
kind of passioned myself is I meet you where you are.
Amen.
So there is no, I've always been, there is no one size fit all when it comes to fitness plans in the Navy. Even though the Navy has this standard in which
Hmm.
you try to bring yourself to that standard.
Yeah.
And I believe in a starting point, and you continue in a continuing point. There is no finish line. The finish line is, you being happy with where you are, but you should be able to continue.
Yes.
So that is the goal.
Hmm.
That was the goal. So that's what I did with everyone. I would create programs that, I would go individually. I would take
Yeah.
a mass program, and I would find out what's working for that person, what's not working, and we would try to build on what's not working and strengthen what is working.
Yes.
So that was what that's the one thing I will try to do the most to
Amen.
get people in standards.
Amen. And So what I've noticed is, and we're going to talk more about it, is when people fail. I hate to use the word because I don't believe I believe we learn. You know, a lack of having the goal isn't failure; it's a lesson. And when I
Yes.
was able to make that, my whole life changed in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s, when I was able to make that conversion in my mind, not a failure, lesson. But when people have that experience, um, they're trying to bite off more than they can chew, and it's something we'll get into details and later on. But what I'm hearing you tell me is, you find them where they are. You don't ask them to come to where you are.
No.
Yes, and that can intimidate people and overwhelm. We don't want to do that. Yeah. Another thing about you that when I saw your page was launched, Coach Danny, on Facebook, and you have been building what, about a year now or 2 years? How long have you been doing the Coach Danny Facebook page and the promotions?
Well, I started. I actually started the Coach Danny Facebook. I think I started that in probably around 2000. It was when I was in Okinawa. That's when I started
Oh,
the page,
okay, okay,
and it was originally I started it because I was coaching track, and
hmm,
that's something I've been running track for. Whew, boy, I'm gonna date myself if I say
yeah,
this, but I've been running track for over 40 years.
yeah. The
Um,
Navy high school team
well,
there, you were coaching them, yeah,
yeah, when I was
hmm,
coaching the high school team in Okinawa, I
hmm,
kind of did it because I was like, hey, I like coaching, and that was
hmm,
originally what I wanted to do when I got out. So it was kind of more of a. It started off with more of a just like, hey, I'm promoting everybody, I'm promoting
yeah,
my athletes, and I'm promoting myself in track and everything. It kind
hmm,
of started that, and then it built on into what it is now, which if everyone's seen my most recent launch is Doc D Fit. So that's my
doctor,
online coaching
okay,
program
hmm,
that goes along with my in-person program, but it's an online coaching program that I just started building, and that's literally only been launched like maybe a month.
maybe a month. Outstanding. Then we're
Maybe a month.
jumping on this at the same time. This is great. I'm trying
Yes.
to put together motivational videos and podcasts for a thing called CHAPAX. It's an acronym, but I'll get into that some other time. This is going to fall under the umbrella of CHAPEX, which is we use the term CHAPX in my day job, and what we mean is a chaplain exercise to show that how we would provide ministry support. But mine is going to be CHAPAX, which is the Latin word for peace. So it's chaplains challenging you to encourage peace and to find peace, to seek peace. Big fan of uh, Financial Peace University and Dave Ramsey, myself. And even if I don't agree with him on 100% of things in the world, that's okay. I agree with him on the baby steps. And he asks people to
Yes.
pursue peace. He doesn't ask them to become millionaires. He asks them to pursue
Yes.
peace. And in the same
Yes.
way, we want peace with your body, you know? So
Yes.
that's what the ChapX is about. Um, Another thing you just mentioned, you and I have a kindredness. We're a part of you could call it a fraternity, but it's also a sorority, and that is we are track and field guys. You'll meet a guy who played high school football, and he will, bro culture with another guy who played high school football, and they will watch their favorite football teams together. And I don't not get that. I played football for many years, but that wasn't my sport. My sport was cross country and track and field. And your sport, though you played others, your sport is track and field. Now, tell me
Yes.
which events did you run?
My primary and my favorite and my primary event
Mhm.
was the 800 meter. That was my bread and butter. That was my love.
Mm, my event was Smile. And as a
I did
brother,
that too. I
yeah,
had
I
fun with
know you
that. I
did. I
set
know
some
you did.
records
I
with
did
that
the
too.
800 too. I was the number 2 guy on my high school's 800 team. Um, I just want viewers who don't understand what we're talking about to know this. The 800 is 2 laps around the football field. It's half a mile. The mile is 4 laps. Um, you may think that a mile is a long distance run. You are wrong. Mile is a
No,
sprint.
it's a sprint.
It's a sprint, but it's more of a paced sprint, but it's a sprint.
Yep,
The
it is a sprint.
800 is a flat out
It's a
2-lap
full out
sprint,
sprint. Yep.
and it requires not only speed, which you definitely have, it requires a mental, psychological fortitude. We call it endurance, but it's more than just physical endurance. It's psychological that
Yes.
you don't let the fear of passing out overwhelm you. You keep breathing hard and you go all the way through. Um,
Yes.
my best events when I broke 5 minutes 3 times in the mile were the times I got angry when the moment came of fear towards the end of the race, when can I keep this flat out as fast as I can run up, it was anger that helped me get through it. I wanted to win, and I know that in the half, in the 800, you have to have that the whole time. You have to be constantly thinking that way. So
Hmm.
I just want people to understand the level of athleticism it takes to be an 800. Oh my gosh. I mean, I have to tip my hat to you. Now you did this in high school, and where high
Yes.
school from were you? Where'd you come from?
I came out of Weiss Creek High School in Nashville, Tennessee,
Nashville. I knew
home
it
of
was
the
Tennessee.
Cobras.
All right. I didn't know it was near
Go
Nashville.
Cobras!
Cobras. Oh, that's a good mascot. And
Yes.
then there was another school in Tennessee, right on the line there that, discovered you and brought you there for, college, and what was that?
It was it was, at the time it was called Memphis State University. It's now called University of Memphis.
Memphis State. With these credentials in mind, we want people to know that we're not nobodies, okay? I had a college scholarship, to run, cross country, for a tiny, tiny little NAIA school, I know. Moving on to this phenomena that happens, this thing. It's January 18th today, and
Hmm.
I am a big supporter and fan and follower of the old Governator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I get his email and I read it. I also follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and all those things. So I love to see his smiling, positive face, encouraging people. And when I was a kid, my grandparents are big Reagan fans, and he and Reagan hit it off. And he did an initiative to try and encourage young people to be healthy, and that continued on through the Bush administration. And I don't care what political persuasion you come from, it don't matter. Arnold Schwarzenegger is truly an American. But he brought up a thing that is a true phenomenon. It's called Quitter's Day. And Quitter's Day happens statistically, there have been research that supports this. It's the 17th of January. 17 days, just a few days past. And actually, according to my research earlier, after reading this, it's Quitter's Week. This week is the
Yes.
beginning of Quitter's Week. And it's when
Yes.
people sign up for a gym membership and stop coming. They stop scanning their card, they stop coming. Whatever happens in life, takes off, and they come up with excuses to not go to the gym on a regular interval. And that new year, new you, which you're going to talk about, is gone. What have you observed in your career?
So, and the one big thing I spend a lot of time in gyms, and a lot of people, and I agree, with with what Arnold Schwarzenegger said about it and everything like that.
Hmm.
And the reason it's called National Critters Day is because a lot of people they do the same thing. They start off, they wait, they start thinking about at the end of the year, you have your New Year's resolution, you have many promotions, new year, new you. So it's like, you know what? This is my year, and we hear it a
Hmm.
lot, and I hear it a
Yeah.
lot, and a lot of people do it, and it's like, the one thing they say, this is going to be my year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and going from zero or the couch or however you want to do it, and going how they say, excuse the way I say this, going balls to the wall in the
Yeah,
gym.
it's okay.
Um,
We're
and what a
motivated.
lot of people do, and what I've noticed a lot, and when I see it, a lot of people do ego lifting. So they remember,
Mm,
and this is they remember how they used to be, and they remember how it used to feel, and they go in there and it's like, I can do it again. And a lot of times people are hurt or they have the energy,
yes.
but your body is not strong enough, or you have different imbalances. And one thing I've noticed is a lot of people have different imbalances in their body, and their body is not strong enough to sustain starting lifting heavy. So the
Mhm.
mistakes, or it's not, yeah, it's
Mm,
not really mistakes. I don't really call it mistakes either, but
yeah,
what a lot of people do is they don't
hard
have
lesson.
a program.
Mhm.
And, it's not to knock what you're trying to do. I don't knock anybody for what they're trying to do. Once you get in the gym, you make that first step, you come in there, they don't have a program, they don't have something to commit to. They have something in the back of their mind that they want, and that's what they lift with.
Yes.
And they don't have the bridging tools to go from where you are
Mhm.
to where you want to be.
Yes.
So that's the issue, is that you reach burnout. And if you ever notice it, you notice it in diets, you notice it in a lot of workouts. When you hit that 2 weeks, when you start from literally doing nothing, your first 2 weeks is hard.
Yes.
Um, and finding imbalance and everything like that. And the big thing, and what I try to do with a lot of people. I do work at MWR Gym on Yokosuka base, so that
Mhm.
is one thing. That's what I'm doing. And the one thing I try to do with people is, I kind of taper you back from jumping on to what you want. I
Yeah.
want to know what you want, and I'm going to see where you are, and not just and a lot of trainers, some trainers do the same thing. There's some do, some don't.
Mhm.
But this is kind of my philosophy, and this is what goes along with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I keep it very simple.
Mhm.
Find something that you can do and you can do consistently, and have fun with it. Those
Mm.
are my three things that I kind of drive home in everything we do. Is find something you can do, and find something you can do consistently, and start small. Start with the small numbers. So on the Quitters Day,
Mm.
yes, it is this week.
Mm.
Where and it's like a lot. The big joking thing that everybody see is a lot of people will sit back, and those that are already in the gym will just step back. This is
Yeah.
kind of our
Yeah.
break week, and we'll
We'll
like
have
step
faith.
back, let everybody hit the gym,
Yeah.
and then it's like when
Okay.
everybody fades off, and it's like packed. I mean, from morning to night, it is packed those first 2 weeks,
Oh,
and
yes,
then all of a
it
sudden you walk in the
is.
gym and it's
I actually avoid the gym because of that.
yeah,
Go outside and do my own thing. Yeah.
yes.
Uh, uh,
So, but yeah, that's one of the things, and like I try to, and I just wanted to jump back into on this is you know the one thing about it's kind of it's a normal thing, and a lot of people don't notice it, and a lot of people get into the point where it's like they get in their mind,
yeah.
I can't do it.
Mm.
I want to do it, but I can't. I'm
Yeah.
tired. It's painful. And the older you get, this is the one of the things a lot of people don't catch on to. The older you get, the longer the pain lasts. So the
Yes.
more you keep trying every new year, and it's just like it's going to
Mhm.
sit you down faster and faster
Yeah.
and faster till you get to the point you want to quit. Um, and the one thing about it is that, you know, I try to tell anyone, don't give up. Don't quit. Take a break. Take a break and let your body
Yes.
recover. Let
Yes.
your body
And
catch
then you'll
up.
be surprised what happens. That should be one of our
Yes, you
principles
will.
right there. Take a break, but strategically take a
Yes,
break, planned breaks.
a
Um,
strategic break.
you just
Or
mentioned yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I would
Or
say, or find someone that has done it. Find you a professional that will work with you. And I would tell
encourage.
anyone, if you're gonna start off the new year, new you, and
Mhm.
those that are paying attention to this, if you start off the new year, new you, find you a professional that will work with you, and that'll work with you from where you are.
Yes.
and want to get you to your goal,
Hmm.
and find the imbalances. What a lot of people don't realize they're doing over the years is you're creating a lot of muscular imbalances, and you don't notice it yet.
Yes.
A lot of people will see, we got stiff joints,
Hmm.
knees, the biggest things we
Yes.
have,
Oh,
especially those that are veterans in the military. Our knees and our shoulders, they are
yeah.
just like they're so stiff. And believe it or not, we can break that stiffness up.
Amen.
There is ways to do that, and it's like just finding that and shifting yourself. I, you know,
Mhm.
let the motivation get you started, because it's going. That's what's going to do. Motivation will get you started. Discipline is what's going to keep you going,
Yeah.
the discipline to do something. So you have to find something that you can do. Find your niche and let
Hmm.
somebody help you find that niche, and that will help you go on and
Yeah.
on and on and keep progressing and find something fun to do.
Amen. You've already said some things that trigger our one of our conversation points, and that is this concept that I call and have for many years with sailors trying to motivate them by visiting FEP and all these things. I say to them, if they go to my congregation and I know that they're Christian, I say to them, well, we need to get serious about temple building. And that's sort of a catchphrase that a lot of contemporary Christians understand. It's saying that the temple of God is not a building, it's your body. And
Yes.
you can't be a good representative of Christ and worship properly if you aren't paying attention to your body. And so, temple
Hmm.
building is what I want to frame our promotion around. But here's the beauty: many religions call their place of worship a temple. So you don't have to be a Christian to understand the concept, the spiritual concept of temple building. And we'll get more into that in a minute. But before we do, I just want to point out a couple of the things you said. One was whatever you do, start small and do it consistently. Believe it or not, I told you in our previous conversation on text that I had three principles, and I didn't tell you what they were. You basically just caught all three of them when you said that. They're all breaking down in Barney style, Navy term, that you got to start small, like aim small, miss small, right? And then you've got to also do whatever it is. You got to not stop doing it. You got to keep doing it consistently, and you got to find whatever that small thing is that's right for you, what fits for you. Right? If you're a rower, then you're a rower. And I'm going to use rowing analogy a lot in these videos. I'm not a rower. My CO is. He's so incredible a rower that the sailors talk about how he could like compete for like the highest Navy standard, and like it's just unbelievable. They have to look away. The CFLs are like, I can't believe the kind of power he puts out when he's rowing. Big guy. I'm a runner, and so I do my PFT on a treadmill now at this point in my life. If you told me when I was 25 that I would do my PFT on a treadmill, I would say, "Get behind me, Satan," because that's weakness. That's what I would say. And now I'm like, yeah, yeah, that tracks. I need to. That's part of getting old and having all those leg injuries. I can't afford to not do it
Hmm.
on a treadmill because of. I mean, I do run outside, but I have so many knee and ankle injuries that I have to have a consistent, smooth surface. If anything is
Yes.
off, boom, I'm down for 6 months. So that's why I do a lot of treadmill work. How about you? What is it have you noticed as you've aged that you had to change?
Um, the one thing that I've had to change since I've aged is
Mm.
my warm up. And the one thing I do in my workouts is that, the longest, literally, I will, for example, when I get on the track, I'll almost warm up for close to an hour
Yeah. Yeah.
before, and just to go run for
Mhm.
10, 15 minutes. For me to do a sprint, yes, I will warm up for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I have noticed, dealing with I've had several knee surgeries, so I've had knee injuries.
Yeah.
Um, no, which have led to hip imbalances,
Mhm.
and that's the one thing
Yep.
that that I've had to really work hard on, was bringing my body back in balance,
Mhm.
um, just doing what I needed to do and not giving up. And that's the kind of the thing that I stress to a lot of people, even when they hit that. It's like, find what's out of balance, find what's out of whack,
Mhm.
and don't give up. Let's fix that.
Yes.
You know, we're not putting your, we're not pushing your goal. Don't ever push your goal.
Mhm.
The only quitting, or the only failing, and yeah, that's what I was looking for. The
Mhm.
only failure there is failure to try. So
Amen.
when you stop or when you quit, that is the only failure. Other than that, just because you take breaks, or just because you regress and regress in a workout or anything,
Mhm.
that is not failing. That is just going back, fixing the imbalances, and making you stronger.
Mhm.
And that's the one thing that I have learned is, a lot of people would, there's been several doctors that look at my right knee and say, no, you don't look like you could ever run fast again. And then there's other doctors that's like, you're still running fast. So,
Yeah. Real.
but
Yeah.
it took a lot, a lot of work.
You just brought up something that's a good segue. We are talking about why do extremes fail in our next part of this episode. And why do extremes fail, Coach Danny? Tell me about that.
Um, so, I kind of,
You did cover
um,
it somewhat already.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't use the word extreme, because a lot of people say extreme, and then you think about, you can think about CrossFit, you can think about,
Yeah.
even to some people,
CrossFit jump,
going to the gym.
gym.
Yeah, some people going to the gym is an extreme.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the what I look at is a lot of um I guess it's I'm trying to rephrase that, and I just can't really
It's
come up
okay.
with the rephrase.
Yeah, we can figure out the right
Um,
words, but you
yeah,
can
well,
say,
I mean, I don't want people to think extremes are evil. They're not evil.
"Hmm,
But
they're not
some people
helpful." How about that?
look
They're
at
not
some
helpful.
things.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or it's just the way that some people look at it, and it's
Mhm.
like, that might not be sustainable for
Sustainable.
you
Amen.
right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
So, and that's where it's like, ooh, I love that. I want to do that today. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to start jumping up and doing all kinds of pull-ups.
Yeah.
Not, if you want to do and jump up and do pull-ups, maybe you want to sit down and do some lat pull downs. Maybe you want to do some shoulder rotations. There's certain things you want to do that can kind of lead you to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say
Man,
that
oh,
it's an
man.
extreme, but it's not something that it is sustainable right at this moment. But we can get you there.
Yes. Yes. We can get there, or we can get there to the new level, not the one you did when
Yes.
you were 16, but the one you can
Yes.
do when you're 36, you know?
Yes.
A new you. I mean, for example, I ran my PRT the other day. I do once a week. I will at least once a week outside. And then right now we're doing it. We have a deck on the ship that we're staying on where we can run basically a football lap inside. So I was running it, and I thought to myself, all right, I'm gonna knock out my mile and a half run. Today's the day. I think usually Wednesdays or so I'll knock out my mile and a half run. And I thought I was doing great. Had my earphones in, had music playing, and I get to the 1 mile mark and I look down and I'm thinking I'm running about a 9-minute mile, which means I'm barely going to pass, but I'm going to pass. And I ran an 11-minute mile. And I go, I've lost weight lately. I'm in better shape. I've been running 4 to 5 times a week. And I thought I was moving fast. And it was 11 minutes. If you told 18-year-old Josh, who broke 5 minutes 3 times his senior year, junior and senior year, that he would be running an 11-minute and actually felt good about that, I had to stop for a moment and say, you should feel good about this. You feel good. It's sustainable. I was sustaining
Mhm.
without a lot of effort an 11-minute mile. And I probably could have run 3 to 5 at that pace. And that's where the key comes in. That's where this concept of sustainment, not extremes, okay?
Hmm.
When we do extremes, we can get injured. There is a principle that I'd like to adopt. We can figure out where to put it into the next segment. We're going to talk about a little bit this principle thing, this temple building thing, but it's an expression you know. And usually we use it when handling ammunition and or handling explosives in the military. And the expression is smooth is fast. All right. And what the longer expression is slow is smooth, and smooth
Yep.
is fast.
It's fact. Yep.
Therefore, slow is fast. And when we wrap our brain around that, we can apply it to our body as well.
Hmm.
And one little baby foot in front of the other. I'm running a 12 to 13-minute pace. But you know what I am doing if I'm running a 12 to 13-minute pace and I'm saying, maybe you're hearing me, whoever you are, and you're running that, you know what you are doing? You're
You're running.
running. Exactly. Amen, brother. You're
You
running.
are
You are
running.
not
You
sitting on
got
a
one
couch.
foot in front of the other.
Yes, you're
You are
not sitting
running.
in your bed on your laptop or on your phone playing games. You're running. 12 minutes is fine. 13 minutes is fine. That's your pace. That's your pace. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so that leads us into talking about extreme. We talked about that. I'm going to talk about the emotional thing and the side of extreme for a moment, and that is um, Dave Ramsey has a thing he puts out that is highly contested by a lot of financial specialists. I am a trained command financial specialist. Did you ever do that, Danny? Did you ever go to that class?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
cool.
did go to the
We've
class.
done it all, haven't we? So the Command Financial Specialist program is something I'm very proud of. They don't 100% agree with the financial piece, and I am a financial peace trainer as a chaplain as well, and so I have led those workshops. And I can say to you, one of the things that gets a lot of gruff for this guy is one of his principles is it's actually within the baby step, but it's when you're paying down debt. Okay, you rank them by smallest debt first. The reason why people hate this is a lot of financial specialists will say, that's dumb. You should go by APR, annual percentage rate. And you know what? At some point, if you're very responsible and very disciplined and you've paid off a lot of debt and you're managing sort of cards, which is the phase I'm at. I'm at I think step 6 or 7. I'm working towards step 7 right now. So I'm at that point in my life where I can do it by APR, but I had to get there by paying off debt. And the reason you start small is the aim small, miss small concept is have a win, get a win, because every time you get a win, you feel good.
Feel better.
And then you want another
Yes.
win. I got a cookie.
Yes.
I want another cookie. And that's
Yes.
where moving small helps you. When you're looking at goals to get in shape, your goal should not be, I want to lose 40 pounds. Your goal should be, I want my clothes to not be so tight against my skin next week.
Hmm.
All right.
Yep.
And I had that shirt I really like to wear. I was wearing a month ago, but I can't button it anymore. I'd like to button it
Hmm.
for the formal event next week or next month. That's
Hmm.
reasonable. Okay. You're not saying I want to lose 40 pounds and I want to blow everybody away. So that is one of those things I want to take over from our brother program, or one of the programs that I'm a big fan of, um, and adopt it here for us. I'm trying to think of how to ask you a question that would get you to talk about that. Temple building concept. You've heard the term before. What has it meant to you when you heard it growing up or in the Navy?
Well, I look at the one of the things, and just going off of that concept of what you said, and it's something I heard. I think I've heard Dave Ramsey say it, but somebody else said it. He talked about the debt snowball, and that's what I
Hmm.
liked about
That
it.
snowball.
But
Yep.
one of the biggest thing is you always look at the KISS rule. Keep it
Mhm.
simple, stupid.
Keep it
You
simple,
know,
stupid.
yeah. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I think the same way in what you want to do.
Mhm.
Um, and my wife, she put it out there, and you know, she has her what she has is her dream board,
Mhm.
and she takes her dream
Yes.
board, and she's like, it's in pieces,
Yeah.
and it's like she picks the smallest piece, and you pick something to make you take the smallest one and you make a victory, and you
Mhm.
use that victory, and just like the debt snowball, if you pay the small one, then you
That's right.
take that money and
Mhm.
move it to this one, you
Yes.
get another victory, and then you take those money, move it to the next one, you get another victory. It's not Don't go after the big one first, because if you're trying to hit that big one and you're trying to hit that APR, you're going to get defeated.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to want to do
Yeah.
it. And then you're going to
Yeah.
miss, ooh, I want to buy something. And I want to do this. And it's
Mhm.
like, that's what you're going to miss. But if you
Yeah.
go for the simple victories first,
Yes.
if you start simple, and that's with finances, that's with, I do it with spirituality, I
Mhm.
do it with,
Mhm.
and like I said, I do it in the gym. I do it with spirituality. I do it with
Mm.
finances. I do it everything. I
Yeah.
just keep it simple. And it's like, what do I want to do? I know what my ultimate goal is,
Yeah.
and I want to be back to this. I want to see if I can get myself. I want to see what my fastest time. How close? I don't say I'm going to ever run. You know, I don't feel at this stage in my life I'm going to run a sub 4 mile anymore,
Yeah.
or a sub to 800.
Mhm.
But I mean, well, a sub 150 800. Definitely don't think I'm gonna get there. Can I get to a sub two? I might be able to slip in that radar, but I want to see how close
Mhm.
I can get to
Wow.
it. And I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go for every little
Mhm.
victory. So, like, for example, using you, and you started off with, you felt good on that 11-minute mile. I got an 11-minute mile. Okay. Go for 10. Next thing you know, go for 10:50.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, don't go for 10. Don't go for
So
10:50. Now,
10:50,
if you
baby
get
steps.
10,
Baby bite.
yeah, if
Mhm.
you get 10, off of that 10:50, when you were planning to hit 10:50 and you got 10, good, you
Mhm.
know, and just keep going. And it's like, those are the minor steps that you can just keep on doing.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. You
Sure.
mentioned spirituality. As I said, I think earlier, that I want this to be something universal for everyone. I'm not talking about being a universalist. I'm saying whatever your angle is spiritually, you can adopt these principles. And I know you, like me, you were raised in the South. But you have an interesting background when it comes to spirituality. Um, so, where are you now, and how does your spirituality help your exercise routine and maintain?
Well, I do travel a lot. I have traveled the world,
Mm,
and I have been blessed to have met many people, and they use many different, as they say, religions, denominations, however you want to look at it.
mm,
There's so many ways, and there's so many words, or so many ways to do it. But the one thing that I have learned is that the one thing that's been the consistent thing that
mm.
has stayed with me is God wants a relationship with me.
Amen.
And he wants that relationship. That's my spirituality. That's my lesson. I don't try to make anyone feel bad. I'm not perfect.
Mm,
I am not perfect at all. That's
amen.
my spirituality.
And I really appreciate you sharing. Um, There is a very close relationship between our concept of the deity that created all life, whether we call it Allah, whether we use one of those, the Y word or the J word, which I don't say as respect, or if we say Jesus, the was God incarnate. But whatever you say, having this idea that the intelligent designer of the universe actually wants to hear from us and have a relationship with us holds us accountable to take care of the vessel that he gave us, he entrusted us with to communicate. And that's part of this idea of temple building. Um, I don't want to get into all these different religions, but I just want to say a couple of points of things for listeners to hear. As a chaplain, I'm here to support whatever your religion is. I am not here to convert you. That is a misunderstanding that a lot of people back home have with the ministry of a chaplain versus the ministry of the pastor of a church. The pastor of the church, his job is to teach the beliefs of that church and that religion and to encourage people to stay the course and to tell others who might want to learn about, evangelism to come to that church. The ministry of a chaplain is to identify, just as you and I, Coach Danny, are doing, identify where that person we're coaching or encouraging, in my case, through athleticism is, find the baby step where they need to be and encourage them that path in that style, whether it's muscle building, which is something I'm focusing on right now in my life. I've never focused on it. I've always been about cardio, but I just said, you know what? I'm never going to be skinny again. It's time to turn that extra stuff I'm carrying into muscle. So that's what I'm focusing on. But whatever it is to encourage them in that. And in the same way, as a chaplain, if a Muslim young man comes to me, my job is not to make him a Christian. My job is to help him be the best Muslim he can be and American as a service member.
Yes.
We are about to run out of time for our first recording, so I'm going to wrap it up here and speak of our next time. This purpose of this was to talk about not giving up and that quitter's day. Also to introduce what the mission of this is, which is to help average Joe sailors and average GI Janes do enough to pass.
Yes.
We want you
Yes.
to pass your BCA. We want you to pass your PRT and PFA. And if you have a CRT, command readiness training or test, we want you to pass that too. That's the goal. That's the
Yes.
mission. We don't want you to be the command CFL. We're not trying to get you to make the Olympic alternate team. We are only here, yeah, we're only here to get you over this big hurdle that you have right now. Okay. We want you
Yes.
to keep rowing and keep rowing in the right direction. One little phrase that I want to keep using as my slogan for this CHAPAX initiative, and Danny, you're welcome to borrow it too. And it's FTD. You hear a lot of people using these, you know, letter acronyms that actually say vulgar things. Mm.
Mhm.
My F is for the word faster. Okay. Faster than death. Okay. You don't have to be first. Hell, it's okay if you're last. Just run the
Yeah.
race and finish the
Yeah.
race because the person who finished the race last still is faster than death.